Welcome to the Home Downsizing Show. My name is Ben Socek, your host and the owner and founder of Home Downsizing Solutions. With the Home Downsizing Show, I want to provide you the information and resources to make the downsizing of your house stress and hassle-free. So sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, and thank you for joining me. This is Ben Socek with Home Downsizing Solutions, and welcome to this episode of the Home Downsizing Show. A little bit different episode this morning. I wanted to talk a little bit about the current real estate environment. I've been getting more questions recently with what is happening in the economy about whether this is a good time to sell a house from buyers, whether it's still a good time to buy a house. And so I just wanted to give you some of my thoughts and some things that I've been hearing from other people. Certainly, if I had a crystal ball, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now, quite frankly, if I knew exactly what was going to happen. But I wanted to share with you my past experiences of the 25 years that I've been in the market, that I've been in business buying houses and helping people transition to another home or apartment. And so just wanted to go over those thoughts with you this morning. First, certainly the economy back in 2008 still sticks fresh in my mind. There were a lot of people that thought that things could never end in the run-up to what happened in 2008. There were a lot of buyers, regular traditional retail buyers that were bidding for houses. It seemed like ridiculous numbers at that time. There were a lot of home buyers and quote-unquote investors that were buying houses for what I thought were too much money and would put some work into them, put them back on the market, and be able to sell them and make money. And so there were a lot of people doing that back in those days. And of course, when what happened at the end of 2008 happened, then when the money dried up and people couldn't get loans anymore, all of that stopped very abruptly. And because I knew different ways in how to buy houses and work with sellers to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, which was selling their house, I was able to still get through that market and offer services to allow people to sell their house. And so I guess I'm still here after 25 years. But there were a lot of people that did not get through that market because they didn't know how to adjust to the market. And so actually for the last several years, I felt that we were headed for something, but with the interest rates remaining very low, with the pandemic for the last couple of years, it seems like it's just continued to go. So the market's just continued to increase, and certainly the price of houses has definitely increased the last 2 years. I talked to some people that I know in a couple of the hotter markets in the country, and this was in a part of Florida, but their market had gone up almost 40% in just the last 12 months as I make this show episode. And so I think a lot of people, or most people, would agree that appreciation like that just can't continue very long before we have some real problems. I was at a event or a seminar, a real estate seminar, a week or so ago, and it was in Florida. Their sentiment was because of the regulations and government policies in other states that are or have been somewhat pushing people to Florida, they didn't think at least the Florida market was going to be hurt, whether interest rates went up or not, just because there is such a demand for people for housing in Florida from so many people moving there from other states. They they didn't say really a whole lot about the market in general, because real estate is a localized market. It's pretty tough to make a blanket statement, although in 2008, everywhere was hit with the way the market was at that time. One of the speakers mentioned that he thought that certainly the appreciation could not keep going, but doubted we'd see a problem like we did in 2008. And of course, I hear a lot of experts that talk about, well, we'll never have another big housing downturn because it's just not like the market, the environment that we're in is not like it was back in 2008. But it seems like every time there's an economic correction, that it's something that the experts, so-called experts, do not see coming, and so it catches them off guard. And so it seems like 7 to 10 years, we have kind of an economic cycle that corrects. And certainly it's been about 14 years now since we had since 2008. And so I think a lot of people think that we're long overdue. Besides everything that has happened because of whatever reasons I guess a person can attribute to it, we now see that interest rates are starting to go up. I think primarily because inflation is really running much higher now. Just yesterday, the federal government came out with the fact that inflation for March of 2022 was 8.5%. So 8.5% greater, prices were 8.5% greater than they were 12 months ago. That's on top of about an 8% inflation rate from February. And so everything is more expensive. And I'm sure anybody that's watching this can attest to that, whether it's gas, whether it's food, anything that you buy, it seems like is a lot more expensive than it was a year or especially 2 years ago. And so the Federal Reserve is starting to raise interest rates from historically low rates. They're still low, but I think, for one example, the 30-year mortgage rates have gone from 3% or just below 3% for a 30-year mortgage just a few months ago to now right at or just under 5%. And I would guess with the Federal Reserve talking about raising rates multiple times in 2022, that we're going to see those rates go higher. And for a person that is counting on borrowing or needing to borrow all or just about all of their purchase price for a house, each point that interest rates goes up, I believe is what I've been told, it limits their borrowing power by about 10%. So if rates go up that 2%, that's certainly going to increase their monthly payment and limit what price of house they can buy. And certainly if rates keep going up, I would think that that's going to put a damper on things. And so what real estate prices do going forward for this year is anybody's guess. But I think more and more people are thinking we're at a top or very close to a top for this cycle in the economy. So what does that have to do with your situation? Certainly, if you want or are at a position where you're thinking about taking advantage of the current economic real estate market to sell your house, then now may be a good time. Certainly, people are paying more, including home buyers are paying more for a house now than they may be in the future for a while. If you want to stay in your home, which if I were in my home and had no interest in moving, then there's really no interest in moving. But if a person is looking at taking advantage of the very high prices that people are paying right now, it certainly may be an opportunity to do that. Of course, where you move to may be more expensive too, so some of that's all a trade-off right now too. So anyway, that is my 2 cents that I wanted to talk about here today. Just some very interesting times in the economy and housing market. Things are a lot more expensive. If you have any questions, please give me a call. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Home Downsizing Show. For additional information and resources on home downsizing, just go to homedownsizingblueprint.com. That's homedownsizingblueprint.com. Or if you're ready to sell your house and downsize, just go to homedownsizingsolutions.com. That's homedownsizingsolutions.com. And if you have ideas to improve our show or topics that you'd like us to cover, or have any questions that we can answer, just call our office toll free 855-291-5005. That's 855-291-5005. Thank you.